Hello, inspiring educators. Adele Bates, behaviour and education specialist here. We are going to have a quick dive into an area that's coming up a lot in my community at the moment, which is around how we as educators right now in 2020, with the high levels of anxiety and stress that is being felt, how do we work with that in our classrooms, and how do we ensure that that doesn't affect the behaviour of our young people? So before I go into that, if you haven't met me before, Adele Bates, I've had juice poured on my head, I've been whacked by a skateboard, and I have taught a year 7 pupil how to read their very first word. I'm a behaviour and education specialist, and I support school leaders, classroom teachers, homeschooling carers and parents to work with their pupils and young people with the behavioural needs, with SEMH, social, emotional, mental health issues, so that these young people can thrive with their education and be a part of positive social change. I'm the forthcoming author of the book Miss I Don't Give a Shit, which is due out next year with Sage Publications, and I'm a TEDx speaker 2020, which of course means it's been a little bit postponed this year. It's coming, it's coming. So the issue that we're really looking at today is this balancing act that I'm hearing a lot from my community and the inspiring educators who work with me, that they're feeling a lot of stress and internal anxiety themselves with everything that's gone on this year, and they're starting to see that it's affecting the pupils, and it's that kind of conundrum of how to manage those things. Because I know if you work with me, or if you're listening to this video, you are one of the inspiring teachers who wants to be that change, who wants to make a difference, who despite all the adversity is striving to do their best for their pupils so that their pupils have the best opportunities possible in the future. And I'm here to let you know that that is all completely possible, and you're also allowed to be a human. In fact, that makes you a better teacher. So I've got with me a huge permission slip here, which says on it, you are allowed to be a human in 2020. So what does that mean? So there's a big difference between going into a classroom, feeling very anxious about your own things that are happening in your life, or perhaps some of the pressures that are going on around school at the moment, keeping the rules and regs and making sure the health and safety is there, and everything else that's piling up. There is a difference between walking into that classroom, putting a big smiley face on all that, welcoming the children in and saying, okay, let's carry on as normal. Everything's fine. We need to concentrate on where we've been losing out on our education. Are you ready? Okay, so, no, really concentrate, because we haven't got much time and we don't know when we'll be in lockdown again. Ooh. The intention behind that, you can see, is totally in the right place. It's totally wanting to focus on the positive progression of the pupils' academic learning. But you can feel that, and I mean, I can feel it in my body now. You can feel the energy of that is from a very fragile, heightened place that could pop at any minute. You might be recognizing yourself right now. There's an alternative way to do this. And it does involve us being a little bit brave. And that's really quite a common theme of the people I work with. They're brave enough to take this little step, because it could mean that it feels a little bit awkward or vulnerable, but in the long run, it gives us sustainability, and it enables us to actually be in the classroom in the moment with what's happening. So the alternative, I'm going into my classroom, I'm feeling a bit anxious, I'm thinking about the rules and regs, and then there's been some new guidance from the government, etc., etc., etc. Okay, I come into my classroom and I'm with my pupils, and I say to them something like, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a little bit fluttery today. Obviously, this will depend on your age group. You might have younger children and there might be metaphors you're using. I've got a butterfly in my chest, or I can feel the elephant stampeding inside my body. Or it could be, if you're working with teenagers, that probably won't wash, and you can just go, you know what, I'm feeling a bit heightened, bit stressy today. And what you do by that is you invite your pupils in to know that it's okay to feel things. Because actually, let's think about it another way. If us or our pupils weren't being affected by global events in 2020, that would be more weird and more worrying in a way. I really have an issue with the phrase keep calm and carry on, because that to me suggests the first approach, that's suppression, and let's all just, actually there's a little piece missing in that phrase, and for me it is, let's feel what we're feeling. And of course there's a line of this, I'm not suggesting for 1 second that you share inappropriately with your pupils. If you need extra support, counselling, therapy, other family members, friends, etc., you do that piece, that's for yourself. But it doesn't mean that you have to be closed off in a classroom, because the energy that you bring into the classroom, the honesty that you bring into the classroom, the reality, the authenticity will directly affect how your pupils feel safe, both physically and emotionally. So if you're going for that first option, where you're holding tight and you're trying to pretend that everything's fine, your pupils are going to smell that a mile off. And if you work with the ones like I do, teenagers with behavioural issues, they will tell you that they are finding you inauthentic in often not so polite ways, right? But if you sit there and share the reality with them, you're also modelling for them that it's okay for them to feel a bit wobbly. There's nothing wrong with them if they're feeling a bit wobbly. And actually, you're a safe adult because you can hold that and you can facilitate that. So that is the place that I start with this work. Now, I'm going to be sharing a couple more videos this week. And the next bit that I really want to look at is, okay, that's the first kind of tiny start for looking at yourself. But what do you do if the pupils are really in an unregulated, very distressing space? How do you then manage that? No matter how calm, cool, collected, open human you are, how are we dealing with this? Because within my community, I'm getting a lot of feedback about unusual behaviour that's coming in our classrooms, and unusual behaviour from pupils that usually are known for being pretty compliant. And so we are really starting to play with behaviour in a different way than we're used to. So in the next video, we will be looking at that. If you want to find out more about my work, then please pop over to adelbateseducation.co.uk and be part of the community. Thank you.